This week at Interior. Interior's Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement is part of the Unified Command responding this week to an oil spill off the coast of Orange County, California. Bessie shares responsibility for managing the pipeline with the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, the California State Fire Marshal, and the California Department of Conservation. While the U.S. Coast Guard is leading containment and cleanup efforts, Bessie, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and other Interior offices are assisting in the response. Secretary Haaland took part in 2 listening sessions this week as Interior continues to mark Hispanic Heritage Month. The first session with Hispanic and Latino elected officials included the governor of Puerto Rico, Pedro Pierluisi, and the second session, hosted by the League of United Latin American Citizens, focused on the role and presence of Latinos in the conservation movement. The Secretary this week announced $348 million for 62 projects in Nevada and the California side of the Lake Tahoe Basin. Those projects are dedicated to recreation improvement, wildlife habitat conservation, hazardous fuels reduction, wildfire prevention, and other purposes through the sale of public lands under the Southern Nevada Public Land Management Act. Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs Brian Newland and Bureau of Indian Education Director Tony Dearman led a forum this week for students and their families addressing COVID-19 vaccinations and discussing the best ways to provide the safest in-person educational environment possible. All educators at BIE schools must be fully vaccinated by October 15th. The forum was conducted in coordination with the CDC and the Indian Health Service. Scientists from the U.S. Geological Survey are keeping a watchful eye this week on Hawaii's Mount Kilauea volcano after its latest eruption. Over the past several days, a layer of molten lava nearly 90 feet thick has accumulated at the base of the crater. The eruption is currently confined within Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, and USGS expects it will remain within the summit region. The National Park Service's American Battlefield Protection Program awarded more than $900,000 to its preservation partners across the country this week. Among the recipients was the Fort Ticonderoga Association, which will use the funding to increase access to the National Historic Landmark known as Liberty Hill. The site was occupied and reoccupied by Continental, British, Native American, and German troops throughout the Revolutionary War. Vice President Harris kicked off the combined federal campaign this week. That's the official workplace giving campaign for federal employees and retirees, which has raised more than $8.5 billion for charities and people in need for the last 60 years. Secretary Haaland is the co-chair of this year's campaign, which runs through January 15, 2022. And our social media picture of the week, this majestic bighorn sheep at Glacier National Park in Montana. It's one of more than 70 species of mammal that call the park home. It's also one of very few that can survive the park's frigid winters at high elevations. Glacier National Park has over 1 million acres and is surrounded by national forests and wilderness areas where there's plenty of room to roam, whether you're a sheep or not. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. That's This Week at Interior.